You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
What a beautiful day for horses in the morning.
You are listening to the #1 horse podcast in the world. Here is your entertaining look at the horse world and the people in it.
Good morning. I'm Ashley Winch from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and you're listening to Horses in the Morning on the Horse Radio Network for Monday, October 7th, episode 3535 by WERM Flooring. Good morning, Horse World.
You have found Horses in the Morning on a Monday. You're in for an amazing horsey week of laughter, learning, and fun with Glenn and Jamie.
That's right. I'm back in the saddle after maternity leave, and I am so excited to be back, you guys. This week, the crew is off, so get ready for a blast from the past. Today, we're revisiting our chat with Kayla Benney, who won the $10,000 Futures Prix at WEC back in the summer of 2022. We'll also dive into estate planning for your animals and celebrate Justine Griffin's milestone Heels Down Happy Hour episode. Plus, we'll have a good laugh with some Equestrian First World Problems. But first, a word from our title sponsor, WERM Flooring. Is your floor a disaster zone, cracked, dusty, and leaking? There's a better way. Let's face it, traditional floors in trailers, barns, workshops, they take a beating. They crack, they leak, they collect dust like it's nobody's business. And those temporary fixes? They never last. Introducing a revolutionary solution, WERM Flooring. WERM Flooring is a sealed system that's easy to clean and maintain. No more back-breaking scrubbing. Plus, it's slip-resistant, keeping you safe and sound. And unlike other options, WERM Flooring is built to last. Liquids, no problem. WERM Flooring protects your floor and keeps it looking beautiful for years to come. Don't settle for a floor that's a constant hassle. Invest in WERM Flooring today. Visit WERM Flooring, WERM Flooring.com to learn more and transform your space. WERM Flooring, the lasting solution for a beautiful floor for your barn, trailer, and more.
Well, good Monday morning, everybody. I'm back, and I am Glenn the Geek. I'm back in Ocala, Florida.
And I am Jamie Jennings, and I never left. I'm in Norman, Oklahoma still, and you're listening to Horses in the Morning on the Horse Radio Network for July 11th, episode 2970, brought to you today by the World Equestrian Center. Good morning, Horse World.
I have good news and bad news for you on this Monday morning. First, the bad. It's Monday. But the good news is really good. Jamie and Glenn are here to guide you through another week filled with horse talk and a whole lot of fun. Welcome to Horses in the Morning.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. And thank you to Lisa for filling in for me last week. Did the shows go well? You did okay?
Man, we didn't miss you a bit.
Oh, good. I like it. Well, maybe I can just take all the time off now and be on a cruise nonstop. That'd be good. Coming up on today's show, we have Kayla Benney, host of the Sales and Breeding episode, telling us about winning the $10,000 Futures Prix at the World Equestrian Center over the weekend. Justine Griffin is joining us. She's host of Heels Down Happy Hour, and she's stopping by to celebrate their 100th episode. And apparently y'all still have Equestrian First World Problems. While I was gone, you still had problems. So we're going to go over those. And then the Auditor Post Show. We're going to talk about how Jamie has been doing breeding all wrong, plus a couple of movie reviews. You saw Thor. We both saw The Minions. So we'll talk about that, too, in the Auditor Post Show. I got home. I'm going to do my Equestrian First World Problem first, okay? It's more of a real first world problem, actually, than an Equestrian First World Problem.
Well, I'll be the judge of that.
Okay, well, I got home, and now I have to cook and clean myself.
Yeah,
Just
that's
sucks.
not a real problem. That's just life.
It seems like a real problem. It's like when you go on a cruise, they do everything. Clean your room twice a day, cook all your meals. And it's like, I get home and I have to cook and clean and do the dishes. It's just...
You could be like that guy. And there are a couple that decided to go live on a cruise ship for life. Like it was cheaper to do that.
A lot of people doing it now. We met one on our last cruise. We met an old guy who was just cruise ship to cruise ship. And he would stay on one cruise ship for about a month and then he would switch. And then be about another month. And he said it was cheaper than a retirement home because they're so expensive. So he just did that. And again, he didn't have to cook and clean. So there's that. And they all knew him.
Amazing. And that is amazing that it's cheaper than a retirement home.
I know. Because retirement homes are so ridiculously expensive now. Hey, I wanted to remind everybody that coming up, we are going to, I have the date now, August the 17th. I will be in Oklahoma sweating my AASS off with Jamie at her farm there. And we will be doing episode 3000 of Horses in the Morning, the longest running. Yeah.
Glenn sent me an email saying we will be there from the 14th to the 18th. And my thing is like, I have to entertain you for 4 days.
No, you see that we're self-entertaining. That's why we bring our own digs to stay in. Mm-hmm. So, and we'll be working too. So that's part of that too. So you don't have to worry about us. Just give us a place to plug in. As long as we have air conditioning, we'll be good. Yeah, so we're celebrating episode 3000. That's why we're coming out. And we want you to help us celebrate. We won't be able to take callers because I won't have all my equipment out with me at Jamie's house. So we want you to leave a voicemail. And you do that by going to horseradionetwork.com. Go on your phone to horseradionetwork.com to the browser. Click on the voicemail line on the right-hand side of the page. It will take you to the voicemail. You hit record, start talking, and leave us like a 30-second voicemail of what the show means to you, how long you've been listening, what you like about it, that kind of thing. So we just want to play those in our 3000th episode and hear from all of you. And they've started really coming in this morning, so we're starting to get a lot more of them. We hope to have a bunch. I know Radiothon, no challenge, but on Radiothon we usually get 100 to 200. So I don't know that we'll have time to play 100 voicemails, but hopefully we get dozens, and we can hear your voices on episode 3000. Basically, it's a way for Jamie and I to get out of recording and just play your voicemails.
You know, I was thinking, like, to me, what I would like to hear from people is what the show has meant to them, done to them, taught them, entertained them, like what we do that makes them happy. Like, I know that we've been able to adopt out some horses to listeners, which is awesome. And I want to hear from those people. And I want to hear from the people that like this segment. You know what? If you don't like something, totally send that too. We just won't play it.
But one of the things too, I totally agree with you. I love that idea. And if you have a story, I know one time we did a health segment on being cast in your stall, and we talked about how to uncast a horse. And the next week, one of the listeners wrote and said, my horse got cast and I knew exactly what to do. So if you have that kind of story, that's perfect too.
I learned I had to uncast a horse too. And because of that episode, I figured it out. So yeah, stuff like that we want to hear about.
That'll be fantastic. We look forward to hearing from all of you, and we're very excited to be the longest running daily podcast in the world. And I'm very excited to hit episode 3000 because I don't think any of us ever thought we'd get to that point. That's a lot. Well, happy birthday to our following auditors: Emily Bentz, Katie Dixon, Heather Schneider, Danielle Bacher, and Denise Higgins. Happy birthday to all of you. And I'm very excited that we have some brand new auditors too in the last week. Helen Sayre and Amy Robinson. Thank you both for joining the party and for being part of this wild ride in the auditor room. And I think both of you have joined the auditor room already. So we look forward to having you in there as well. And also increasing their pledge was Clark Barton. Thank you, Clark, for your additional support. We do appreciate it. If you want to become an auditor, go to horseradionetwork.com and click on the auditor banner on the right side of the page. For as little as $3 a month, you too can join the party.
Oh my gosh, I did something yesterday that was so awesome to me. I mean, it doesn't look super amazing, but it felt super amazing. And that is Glenn. So I for some reason have all these baby horses in my barn. It's July. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take July off from training other people's horses, and just, if I can get to one of my horses, I will. But like, it's July and it sucks. I mean, this July sucks. No rain.
It's especially hot everywhere.
It's so hot. And so I was like, I'm going to do anything. But yesterday morning was actually really nice. For some reason, the heat wasn't coming in until later in the day. So I said, Chad, I'm going to go ride Miles, baby Andalusian, 3 years old. And Miles is, let's see. What's the nice way? Well, he's super fat. Like, wears a muzzle, like
Scooter
lazy
fat?
and fat, but like, not because he gets treats. He eats diet food. He's just an air fern, one of those, and as a person that's kind of, I have the one Mustang who hasn't had any problems recently, but he is been fat. But most of I just have thoroughbreds and senior horses that I just dump food to. And so it's been a special challenge for me to starve one. Like, it's hard for me to starve things. I just want to give them
See,
food
now you know what
love.
I've gone through with Scooter all these years.
Yes, but you're broke to it. You know what I mean? Like, you're used to it.
Yeah, that's true.
Adopted the horse knowing, but I bought him, and like, oh my God, I was like, he literally eats nothing and he has a muzzle, and you can't feel his ribs for nothing. I mean, I don't think an ultrasound probe could reach his ribs. Like,
and it's so hard because you're going like, how is he living? I'm not feeding him anything.
I know, and he wears a muzzle, but he's really sneaky. Like, he'll figure out a way to like break one of the ties on the muzzle, and I'll look out and he'll put his nose down, like slide his face sideways along the ground and be like sucking up grass from the side of the muzzle. So we have like double baling twine all over this thing to like really get it tight. And so now I think I've got to sort it out. But I was like, I'm going to ride him because he needs exercise. I need to burn calories on this horse. And you get on this horse and he's like, I just like to stand still. Thank you. I don't want to move. It's hard. I'm fat.
When you're really fat, it's hard to move.
And so I was like, we are going to do so.
By the way, I feel that way after a week cruise, by the way.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. Well, it's been interesting to like get him to move because he doesn't want to move. And he is an Andalusian. He's a PRE. He's supposed to be this amazing, like have this amazing dressage ability. But like, to have that, you have to actually move.
A Piaffe and Passage would be kind of tough right now.
Yes, there's none of that. So I've been riding this horse now for like 3 months. He's been under saddle, and I cannot get him to canter. Like, he will not canter. He canters on the ground in the round pen, but he will not canter when you get on him. He's just like, no. So I went back to basics. Several weeks ago, I would take him in the round pen, and I'm like, I'm going to teach him a verbal cue to canter. Because the leg thing and trotting into the canter, the more leg you put on, he just goes, like it's like kind of fades into nothingness and stands still. So I was like, I'm going to teach him a verbal cue. So the to go is cluck, 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 Then I was like, I'm going to teach him to canter when I kiss. So if I kiss, that means canter. And he's gotten really good at it in the round pen. He doesn't do it for very long, but that's okay. He's only 3. So I kiss and he canters. So yesterday I was like, we are going to put it to the test. And I took him out in the big arena and I kissed and he cantered. Yay!
Wow. With you on him.
With me on his back. Turns out I can train horses.
Was it the slowest canter in the history?
It was slow and it was on the wrong lead, but it doesn't matter. And it only got like 3 strides at a time. It doesn't, but the fact is he did it. Like that's the thing about training horses is, especially a horse that doesn't want to move forward. If you ask them to move forward and you're like, yes, I finally got it. And then you do 20 circles at the gate that they don't want to really do. Like, say I cantered him for 4 full circles, then he's not going to want to break into the canter next time because he's going to be in his brain, oh God, now I got to do this for like 20 minutes and I don't want to do it. And anthropomorphizing a little bit. But for the most part, all I did was ask him to canter and he did it. And he did 3 or 4 strides and okay, good. And then we went around and we did it again. And he then picked up the wrong lead yet again. I don't know how, because he was like circling to the left and he just kept picking up the right lead. But I don't care. I asked him for canter and he did it twice. And then I got off and I was like, yay,
baby
good
step,
boy.
baby steps.
Exactly. So just, and it's funny.
Did it feel like you
because-
were in slow motion?
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, it's so hard to even post on him because he's so incredibly smooth. Like he just moves along the ground, like almost like a gaited horse. It's weird. There's no up. It's just like smooth sailing. And that's his kind of natural tendency. I'm sure as he gets stronger and bigger, that'll improve. But for the most part, he's just really smooth. So you have to really kind of work to post on him. So when I asked him to go into that canter, he just kind of like melted into the canter, which was nice too. But also, again, very, very smooth, even for just the 3 strides before he slammed on the brakes and said, I did it.
Maybe you have a gated Andalusian.
Yeah, I watched the video. I look back.
Okay.
He's not gated, but it definitely feels like that. It's so smooth. But because he's young, you don't want to do a sitting trot on a 3-year-old forever, So you have to post to help their back out. So I'm doing all these things. Anyway, what's funny is that I sent the video to Farm Boy, who is up in Wyoming, and he is like branding cattle. He is doing some serious cool stuff, but we've been in touch all summer. And so I sent him a video because the last time he was here was the last time I tried to canter Miles. And I was on him and I'm like, go. Nothing. And I mean, by the time I finished trying to get this horse to canter, I was purple. And he was like laughing at me. Because usually I look ridiculous. I look like some kid who's like flopping around on a school pony trying to get it to canter. So I sent him the video because eventually he rode a horse after that also didn't want to canter. And he did the same exact thing as me, which is like turning purple in the saddle, trying to get the horse to canter. So I was like, I got my horse to canter. And then he sent me a picture of his foot. Oh, so gross. I was like, why did you send me that? And it's a picture of his foot, which is totally black and blue. Do you want me to read you Farm Boy's text?
Okay.
Okay.
You mean his own foot?
It's his own foot.
Gotcha.
So it's a photo of his foot and it is like purple and black and all this. And I wrote, oh, what? Whose foot is that? And what the heck happened? And he said, had a colt step in a hole running down a calf, flipped over me. And I was like, a horse flipped over you, just stepped in a hole and all you had was a bruised foot? And he said, yes, I got really lucky. Should have taken a saddle horn to the spine, but threw me over the front and on foot and got caught in the stirrup. So it kind of pulled me to one side and he crushed the one foot and his butt hit the ground right next to my head. Oh, to be 20 and just be like, it just almost
You and I
happened.
would take us a month to get up after that one.
Yeah. And so I sent him a picture of a dog wearing a helmet. Like, because they don't wear helmets. He's a cowboy in Wyoming. They
would kick him out.
They would literally send him out of Wyoming if he showed up in a helmet. And do you know what the response to the dog wearing the helmet gif was? Nothing. I haven't heard back. So Farm Boy is alive. He's doing okay. And he'll be back in August. And it can't come soon enough.
It should be healed by then. So
yeah.
Confidently address your horse's unique weight needs and help optimize their overall well-being with research-proven Purina animal nutrition feeds, designed by passionate equine nutritionists. Partner with Purina to nourish your horse to their optimal body condition. Explore weight management resources for your horse today at purinamills.com/feedfinder.
There was an auditor who posted in our auditor group, and I wanted to address it a little bit. I'm not a lawyer, so keep that in mind. Neither one of us are lawyers or we doctors or anything else important with the title. It says, question for y'all. Has anyone ever set up some sort of trust fund to provide money for the care of their animals if something ever happened to them? I know I've heard of this and would like to get something set up, and I have no idea who to even ask for info. Go about it. Well, first of all, almost any family estate lawyer can do this for you. It's not complicated. We actually redid ours during COVID time. We had it redone. But you can actually set up a trust for the animals, and the first thing is you have to decide who's going to take the animals and then get the agreement of that person that let them know that you're going to get your animals and that they're okay with that. And then you can set out in there exactly what you want to happen. You can set a certain amount of money aside that's going to give them care till they're sold or whatever's going to happen to the animals. You know, maybe that person agrees to keep them for life, and then you're going to put more money in the trust, and that trust money then has to be used just for the care of the animals. Your attorney can help you with all of that. But it is definitely, this was a good idea, and it was something we haven't talked about in a while. You need to get this done because, everybody always thinks, well, if I die and then my husband will take care of it or my wife will take care of it. And, they have a lot to take care of, but the scenario that you're really trying to compensate for, one is if you're single and don't have a spouse, or two is if you both die together. So what happens if you die at the same time? You're in a car crash or whatever it is that happens. So that's what you have to plan
Monday
for.
morning conversation, but it is necessary. Yeah.
Do you have somebody take care of the animals? Because you have a few.
my friend Larissa, who many people met at the movement, she and I have this agreement. And I think it was after the last time we talked about this on the show. I was like, hey, so if something happens to me, can you handle all the things? And she was like, I got you. She goes, but if something happens to me, can you handle all my things? And I was like, sure, got you. Then I realized she has 15 horses. I'm like, oh God.
Plus, you both need to get it in writing so that
I'll take care of
the family doesn't argue about it. So,
yeah, no, her husband knows, my husband knows, and I think both of them will be happy to not handle anything.
Again, it's that scenario. What happens if you both die at the same time?
I know. We probably should do something more.
Because the money is the key there. It's not necessarily who, it's what money do they get to help take care of. So that's the key, is what money is going to be there to help take care of the animals till they're adopted out or whatever. Anyway, I didn't want to make it a long thing. I just wanted to say, make sure it's just a reminder to get it done. Again, almost any estate attorney in any town in America can do this. So get it set up by a lawyer, though, because there are some rules and regulations about trusts. You can get that done. Oof. I know a little bit about it because that was my previous life before all of this life. So things have changed in the last 20 years, though. So
I swear, everything is a previous life for you. You have done everything.
Everybody keeps saying we should write a book. We probably should because we've done a lot of things. So done this one for the longest of any job I've ever had.
I'm so proud of you. Same with me for radio.
So thank you. Apparently tolerating you. I haven't been able to tolerate anybody else that long. So,
or vice versa. Nobody's been able to tolerate you.
It's true.
This long.
All right, let's go to our first guest. Kayla is joining us. She's host of the Sales and Breeding episode right here on Horses in the Morning every month. And she did something really cool over the weekend and made a few bucks too. So we'll talk about that. Well, hi, Kayla. Welcome to an unusual day for you on the show.
It's unusual because it's actually a day off for me.
Yes,
well, I was going to say, is it unusual because her pocket is so full of money?
Congratulations. You won the $10,000 Buckeye Nutrition Futures Prix over the weekend at the World Equestrian Center. How cool is that?
Oh my gosh. Can I tell you guys, I almost didn't jump in it. I was like, it was going to be a warm up for another class that I'm going to end up doing in a week and a half. And so I was like, oh, I'll just do the 140 instead of the Futures Prix. And then I was like, you know what? I want to do the Futures Prix. It'd be really fun. So let's go.
What is a Futures Prix?
Yeah.
So it's a 135 to a 140 meter. And I don't know how many feet that is, but it's tall. It's up to my eyeballs. And
you're tiny. That can be 2.5 feet.
Exactly. Hey now. It was giant. I was laying on the ground, but it was really, really tall. No, so it's kind of like a a pre-pre. So they set it up for young horses or people getting ready to jump in a Grand Prix, like to add a little pressure. They offer more prize money, things like that. So.
Good Lord, that's 4.5 feet tall.
Yeah, that's about right.
Jesus.
I'm only 5 foot tall, so yes, that sounds about right.
So now, and it wasn't like, in the past when we've talked about people winning a class, when there were like 2 people in the class and they were one of 2 and then they won. You had 32 people in this class, and as you said, these are people that are getting up there. These aren't people jumping cross rails anymore.
No, it's been pointed out that I beat Aaron Vale. He was on a young horse, but he did go on to win the Grand Prix later that day. So I must have angered him. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Tell us about your horse for those that don't know.
So his name is Doki Doulouret. He's French bred. He's 9 years old, and I bought him off of a video.
You never went over because that was during COVID, sort of, wasn't it?
It was before COVID, but I just didn't go over because I'm cheap. And
I remember you buying this horse. You were like, he came from like the Czech Republic or something. Yeah. I mean, something really random.
He came from the Czech Republic. I'm actually still friends with the people I bought him from, and actually his breeders found me online, and so I got a bunch of his baby photos as well, which was really cool. But he was advertised as 17 hands. He is not, in fact, 17 hands. He is almost 18 hands.
He is a monster. When you see him up close, Jamie, he is a monster.
Their meter conversion is a little off.
Yeah. They were using their selling stick, which I'll have to talk on the sales and breeding episode about. There's definitely a sales stick and then a buying stick, and they are 2 completely different measuring sticks. But it doesn't really matter. He's the most incredible horse. He's definitely the smartest horse I've ever met in my life. He's a little bit borderline Zeus. He has let himself out of his stall a couple times. He knows exactly where his best friend is at all times, and he bellows for him if he doesn't. Just the smartest horse with the most massive step, which is kind of cool as I'm doing my show jumping journey. Being able to leave steps out in lines and do it like in a very calm manner. Just, I'm doing 9 steps. This is a 10 stride line, or I'm doing 7 and it's an 8 stride line, and just like walk down the line.
To be fair, he has almost 18 hands. And so these 4-foot jumps are like cross rails for him.
Oh, he gets mad now. So I'll go and do like a warm up class of like a 130 or even just a normal 135. And he's pissed to be in the class. He's like, this is so small.
Beneath me.
Yeah. And he'll have a rail every now and then just because he's so mad that he has to. I'm like, these are massive. I'm still very impressed. And he's like, well, it makes one of us because I want to be jumping the Grand Prix. I am Grand Prix horse now. Or as he says, he is the future, since he's now won the Future Prix.
So do you have to qualify, like for the Saturday night Grand Prix, right? Which is the big jumping where you get into some, this was $10,000, which compared to what most eventers will ever see in their lives, that's a lot of money. But
oh my gosh, I was ecstatic.
I bet you were. But to get into the, $250,000 classes, do you qualify? How's that work?
Yeah, so it depends on the venue. I'm pretty sure for WEC, and I could be wrong, a lot of people do jump in the welcome, which is the Thursday class before the Grand Prix, and it's kind of their warm-up class. So a lot of people will jump in the welcome as a warm-up, but you aren't required to. But like say at Tryon, you're required to jump in the welcome, and you have to qualify to then jump in the Grand Prix. So only the top 30 from the welcome. So say there's 70 jumping in the class for the welcome, only 30 of those people will go on to jump in the Grand Prix. So, but at WEC, they kind of, they encourage, they like the show, they like to include all the people. So you don't technically have to. For an FEI, you have to jump in one of the other classes before the big class. So there were 2 weeks of FEI that just finished up here down at WEC, which was super exciting because it was their first FEI, and they did a beautiful job. But those riders had to jump in one of, I think it was 2 classes that were offered in the beginning of the week to then jump on Saturday.
And you were telling me you were telling us off the air, about the world. We were talking about the World Equestrian Center, and you, in your quote in the article we read, said that you made a bet. Tell us about the bet.
So I have a new groom. She's 18. She just came down from Maine, just graduated high school, actually. And she's always so excited. She's like, so when you guys win, so she was tacking up the horse. Meanwhile, mind you, I'm going to backtrack just a little bit. I almost didn't braid for the class because I was running late. So I'm doing up the braids as she's tacking him up. The class has already started. I'm 16th to go. And I'm doing up the braids because I still eventer style sew them in. And she goes, so when you win the class today, I think you should take me and Lizzie, who's one of my clients, out to dinner tonight to celebrate at the Yellow Pony, which is the restaurant, the pub that's at WEC, one of my favorite places. I think I've been on to talk about the giant head-sized pretzel. But anyways, I'm digressing.
It is too. We've seen it in person now. It's a head-sized pretzel.
It's so delicious. I had one. So I'm not a betting person. So I was like, okay, well, the likelihood of me winning is 1 in 32. So I will take you up on that bet. I will treat you guys to dinner if I win. And so we went out to the Yellow Pony.
You ended up going to the Yellow Pony and then you fired her.
Yes, exactly. So I'm not doing this again. No, now she's my good luck charm. She has to stick around.
No, that's true. Yeah, she can never go to college. This kid can't go to college ever.
Exactly. No more education for you. I didn't go. Look how I turned out.
Yeah, you're winning big $10,000 classes.
The life choices I made leading up to this point, a little questionable. But what was really fantastic is I said that in the interview, and they actually called me later on. I actually didn't answer because I was like, I don't know this number. I'm not answering this. And they left me a text message after and said, hey, this is, Brett from the World Equestrian Center. I hear you want to have dinner at the Yellow Pony. And they don't really take reservations, but they're like, so how many people and at what time? And I was like, whoa.
And it was free, right? Because
I wish. They wrote me a check. They're like, you can pay for dinner.
Well, that's great. I mean, that is the kind of thing that makes a difference when you're at a show, doesn't it? The little things like that.
Yeah, no, it really does. The hospitality that they have is just incredible. And it was really exciting to, do your first interview. I have the podcast, that we do here, but I don't really get interviewed. I mean, you guys interview me, but it's like talking to friends. So
we don't count. Yeah.
No, that's not what I mean. No, my head's gotten really big. I'm a winner now. So, you little people. I'm kidding.
No, it's true. Whenever I've been interviewed for stuff, I'm like, please don't make me sound like a spaz. Because I turn into a spaz. And I read this article and I was like, dang, she's good. She didn't even sound like a spaz.
Oh, no, she left out so much stuff.
You're like, and then this one time when I was like 7, I totally was like riding my horse. Like, that's how I do it. So,
and then you think of after the fact, you're like, oh, I should have said this. Oh, I should have said that. I didn't even say that, I've produced this horse. I took him to his first ever competition, not knowing that I had taken him to his first ever competition, but that's a different story. And then, I took him we did our first night classes together. We've done everything that we've done show jumping wise, we've done together as our first. So, his first 120 was my first 120. His first.
You really have grown up together.
We really have. He's definitely my heart horse. And it's just funny because I'm very, very petite and he's very, very large. And literally the whole interview that she was asking me questions, I just kept saying well, he's a really big horse. He's really big.
My pony is super huge.
He's really big.
Don't make me sound.
She does look like a peanut. When you're in the stands and watching her go around, because we've been lucky enough to see her go around on this horse, she looks like a peanut up there.
I watch your videos, Kayla, and watching your videos kind of through the years, really, with him. I remember saying to you and commenting on one of those, he looks like this is embarrassing for him to jump this small, when you were jumping. But I watched this video and I'm like, okay, he's actually trying at this height.
Finally trying a little bit. And he's But it is funny because I've never been on such a cocky horse before that he just walks in and he owns the arena for those, however, 80 seconds. And he just, there's an air about him, and I'm up there like, having a heart attack, and he's like, "Can you calm down up there? Like I can feel your heart racing, and you need to get your together because we have a job to do, and hold on. And you should probably slow me down because I'm going to get down this line really, really quickly."
So when is your first Grand Prix?
So this was my warm up to go down to Venice. I'm going to go down to Venice and jump in my first Grand Prix on the 19th.
Yay! Look at you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So it should be exciting. They just put in
Venice,
a new
Italy?
ring.
You're going to Venice, Italy to do
Yeah, I'm
Grand
going
Prix?
all the way to Venice because I'm a winner now. That's what I keep saying to everything. I'm like, well, I'm a winner now, so I can't. No, Venice, Florida. So 2.5 hours away, just below Sarasota, I think.
Yeah,
I've never been, but I heard that the grounds there is lovely. I mean, it's no WEC, but nothing is. So I was telling my client the other day, I was like, that this is our backyard venue. This is like in our backyard because we moved down here specifically, to compete at WEC and to base our lives around it. And I was like, not a lot of people get to say that this is their backyard
you
venue.
have the largest equestrian center in the world as your backyard venue.
Yeah. So, I live 10 minutes away. My farm that we're based out of is 10 minutes away. It's like a little 10-minute triangle. And we are very, very spoiled.
And you could have shown your dog there, too, over the weekend because there was a great big, huge dog show there. So
we really missed out. We could have been winners in so many venues.
Well, congratulations. And thanks, by the way, the World Equestrian Center is a sponsor of ours today, so that's convenient. You can find out the entire itinerary. This show goes to the middle of August, and then there's a whole bunch of other shows coming up. So you can go to worldequestriancenter.com and find out all the details and the complete schedule.
I have a special thank you for Kayla.
Uh-oh.
There was a time when I was first starting with the Horse Radio Network, and Glenn found this thing and he was like, "Hey, will you sing this song?" And it was about sheath cleaning. And so I sang this song, and then now years later, what I know is I could have told Glenn to suck it, and I was not going to sing this song in public to then be going viral.
I've only played it about 1,000 times.
And it's been shared, and it's so embarrassing. And like, I don't know, I would have tried a little more had I known it would have the legs that it had. But I am officially retiring from being the sheath cleaning song girl because you have filled that spot.
It's a different song, so that we could have two. This is and by the way, if you're bothered,
we could do a duo.
There you go.
If you will.
That's perfect.
When I get down to WEC, find the karaoke night, and we'll karaoke.
It's Wednesday nights at the Horse and Hound, which is right up the street.
Perfect.
Oh, they'll love this song.
I'm a local.
That'll be perfect there while they're eating their steaks. So Kayla sent me this, and it's a different sheath cleaning song. If you're bothered by sheath cleaning or anything to do with sheath cleaning, then fast forward a minute, because you're not going to want to hear this version. So
I do have to preface that an auditor did post it and asked if someone would sing it. And I don't know why I was I think they tagged you, and I was like, well, I feel like Jamie's a little tired of being the sheath cleaning girl.
Yeah.
And so, why not humiliate myself in some way?
well, here's her humiliation right now.
This is the sheath cleaning song brought to you.
Were you in your truck?
I was in my car.
There we go.
Driving home.
Well, it beats being in your shower. That would have been annoying.
By your sales and breeding host, Kayla Benney.
Me. I'm so embarrassing.
I like
If it's hanging and you see it, lube your hands. If it's hanging and you see it, lube your hands. If it's hanging and you see it, grab it quick, it's time to clean it. If it's hanging and you see it, lube your hands. If it's peely and it's crusty, pick it off. If it's peely and it's crusty, pick it off.
So cringy.
If it's peely and it's crusty and the smell is kind of musty, if it's peely and it's crusty, pick it off. If its weenie has a beanie, dig it out. If his weenie has a beanie, dig it out. If his wiener has a beaner, pull it out and he'll be cleaner. If his weenie has a beanie, dig it out. Now he's happy and you know it. Wash your hands. Now he's happy and you know it. You better wash those hands. It's a job that's kind of kinky. Now your hands are really stinky, but he's happy and you know it. Wash those dang stinky hands.
Very well done.
I will say the last little bit was improvised.
Oh, no. Are you serious? I had no idea. That was fantastic. And I am passing the baton through the microphone to you, my friend. Thank you very much.
So thank you.
I need to cut that out now, and we need to post that everywhere and have it go viral so that you too will not be known for winning a $10,000 Future Prix, but for being the sheath cleaning song girl.
Oh no,
I'm sure it'll make you richer than that showing thing.
Anything that makes me money, man.
Yeah, but let me tell you, the checks just keep rolling in. I mean, it's impressive.
Bye, Kayla. Congratulations.
Bye.
Oh, that's fun. Well, look, I think she did a great job on both things.
I think so.
I think the song, I like that version too. Well, it is gross. So if you're just rejoining us, welcome back. Kayla has left us now. The song is over, so you are safe. Coming up next is another host here on the Horse Radio Network. It's Justine from Heels Down Happy Hour, and they have something they're celebrating as well.
The foundation of a horse's well-being is a strong hoof. That's why Calziquin, the new hoof supplement from the makers of Cosequin, contains key ingredients such as biotin, amino acids, copper, and zinc to support hoof integrity, quality growth, strength, and durability. That's what sets Calziquin apart from other hoof supplements. The inclusion of vitamin E and selenium, which provide antioxidant support and membrane stabilization. Put your best hoof forward with Calziquin. To learn more, visit calziquin.com. That's CALXEQUIN.com.
As I said, we have Justine here from Heels Down Happy Hour, a show that seems like it just started yesterday. Hi,
You're
Justine.
old. Hi, I'm so happy to be here. How are you guys?
Do you remember, was it 5 years ago now when we sat down to record the first episode? You guys were so nervous.
We were. We had no idea what we were doing. I remember Jess was pregnant with her first child. Now she has two. We've really grown up together on Heels Down Happy Hour.
And congratulations, you're celebrating this week. You're recording your 100th episode.
We are, and we're just so thrilled that we've made it this far, and we're all still friends. But actually, we've just had so much fun doing the podcast and just watching it grow and laughing at ourselves and with each other this whole time. But it's also been really special to be part of the Horse Radio Network family. We've met so many people through the radio network, and it's just been a wild ride.
Well, and it is a drinking show because it is Heels Down Happy Hour. Have you figured out how much alcohol was consumed over that 100 episodes?
I don't think we want to ever put that number out there into the ether.
I mean, that's like asking a girl how much she weighs, Glenn. I mean,
Exactly.
Well, that means you've done 100 drink recipes, though.
Yeah, we've sampled all kinds of cocktails. 100 different ones for sure.
Who knew there were that many?
One day we'll have to rank them. Maybe we could create a whole book, huh?
My surprise question for this year to everybody is this, and it involves surprises. What has been the biggest surprise for you doing the show? The thing you didn't expect that has really surprised you?
Oh, that's a great question. I think just the community of listeners, I'm always so dumbfounded. Like I've been at horse shows here in Florida where I'm from, and people hear my name on, the announcement, and they come over and go, "Are you from Happy Hour?" And it blows me away every time that people from all over listen to our show and they're part of our Facebook group, or just how connected people feel to the silliness that we put out there. It's a very cool feeling that people enjoy what we're doing. And it resonates in some way. But yeah, I've been at horse shows and people come up and go, "Is that Magic Mike, my horse?" Because they hear me talk about him on the show, which is just really, really cool.
It is interesting especially the first time that happens. I remember one of the first times it happened for us was at Rolex. And I was waiting in line for food, and it was soon after we started Horses in the Morning, I think. And I was waiting for food, and somebody recognized my voice from about 10 back and yelled up, "Are you Glenn?" So, I mean, that first time that happens, it is kind of cool. But then you do get it more often. You guys have a lot of followers, and your followers are kind of rabid too. The Heels Down Happy Hour fans are real, true fans of Heels Down Happy Hour, but you've created that, and I think everybody's just looking for a welcoming, non-negative community. And there's so few out there that they tend to gravitate towards the ones like for Horses in the Morning, Horse Radio Network, and you guys. I mean, and your show has done so well numbers-wise over the years.
Yeah, I mean, it's we couldn't be happier with it, with how it's grown, how many people we've met and connected with, whether they're professionals in the horse industry or listeners who have, horses in their backyard, or, maybe our weekend warriors, an event, 3-4 times a year. I feel like we like to be a place that everybody can come and have a glass of wine and share some laughs. And if you like horses, you're going to find your people within us, right? Somewhere along the way.
And you talk about some serious topics, but you also talk about, as I said, drink recipe every week. So, every episode. So, I mean, you do cover the whole gambit of topics.
We do. Yeah. And sometimes we spiral and go into weird corners. We had a whole episode where we talked about what type of underwear we wear when we ride, but you'd be surprised at how long we could talk about something like that.
Well, and again, it's those things that people have to deal with every day, but never talk about, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's nothing too silly that we will broach on Heels Down Happy Hour.
Justine, just this morning, my son we were in the car and he was listening to a song, and the song lyric was something about the word taboo. And he was like, "Mom, what does taboo mean?" And I was like, those are things that most people don't talk about that I have no problem talking about. That's what that means. And listening to Heels Down, it's like, there's nothing that's taboo. We're just going to lay it out here. I mean, that's kind of the whole idea of what we do, especially, as women. Like, Glenn, how many times have I talked about bras? And you're like,
yeah, I know.
Yeah, but that's kind of the important things we need to talk about, is the taboo stuff. And you guys do such a great job of that.
Thanks. Yeah, I think, Just Pain brings a really important lens to that too, because it's still taboo, but it's hard to get a professional to open up about some of the hard stuff of managing a professional farm. And I find that Jess and Doug, when we have Doug on the show, which is quite frequent, they're happy to answer any question, about money, about, keeping the horses going, about their schedules, the highs and lows. And I think that you kind of demystify some of what you think what happens at the top level of the sport that way too.
I want to give some credit too, all credit actually, to Patricia, who is the one who started Heels Down magazine. And she's also president of Eco Gold. And, she and you, both of you, approached me way back when about doing this show. And so all credit to Patricia. She had the vision for this, and I think drug you along. And then and here
She's
you are.
Amazing. And I was just talking to her at Land Rover on how addicted I am to the Spark. The Heels Down Spark. It's an email that comes out, I believe it's just Monday through Friday. And oh my God, it's the best articles. I just love reading it. So I know you have a lot to do with that as well. So I love it.
Happy to hear that. But yeah, no, Patricia is absolutely the vision behind the podcast. And also the Spark. It's our daily email newsletter. Like you said, Jamie, we try to keep it fresh and interesting, but also kind of fun, right? It doesn't have to be too serious, where we cover the gamut of what's happening in the horse world, but sprinkle in what's happening in the world. in there as well. And it's been an absolutely super fun ride watching Heels Down grow and change in different ways over the years.
Now, you want people to help you celebrate. So how do they do that?
Yes. So since we're taping our 100th episode this week as we speak, we're inviting all listeners, if you're a fan, if you listen to us every month or just when you remember or you just like the show, we'd love for you to leave us a voicemail. We have a phone number for you to call. Share your favorite memory, your favorite episode, something we talked about that made you laugh or you learned something from our show. And you can call. I'm about to give you the number, so grab a pen and paper. The number is 813-702-9162. Again, that's 813-702-9162. That's U.S. number for those calling from other places, but just go ahead and leave us a voicemail, and we are going to share those voicemails on our 100th episode. So you could be featured on the next episode of the Heels Down Happy Hour podcast if you call in. And go ahead and do that today if you can. The sooner the better.
All right, very good. Well, congratulations again. I remember having these initial conversations. I remember recording the first episode, and the show's exactly what we hoped it would become, is kind of the evening version of what we do here in the morning, kind of the other end of the day. So it was always morning drive radio and afternoon drive, right, Jamie? That was the two. Mm-hmm. You're kind of the afternoon drive. So
yeah.
Thank you, Justine, for joining us today, and congratulations to you, to your co-hosts, to your sponsors, and also to Patricia for making it this far.
Thanks, Glenn. Thanks, Jamie.
All right,
talk to you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.
That puts them in the top 1% of all podcasts, because only 1% of podcasts ever make it to 100 episodes.
I do. I'm a part of this female podcasting Facebook group, and people are always asking for advice and asking for suggestions and ideas. And so many times it's like, I'm just really burned out of doing my show. And is it okay if I just stop? We've done 12 and
or 7 or.
Like, I'm tired of doing it every month, oh my gosh, what we do here on the Horse Radio Network is so different. It's just, but it's consistent. And that's what Heels Down has been. And even when they had to switch hosts, they've kept it consistent. And that's what you and I have set out to do here on the show, is also be consistent.
And that's tough 5 days a week. Sometimes it's tough. And, congratulations to them. I really appreciate them being on the network and continuing to do the show. It's a really good show. Go check it out on any podcast player. It's called Heels Down Happy Hour, or on the Horse Radio Network app. Yes.
Speaking of consistency, we consistently have listeners with problems.
And we're going to talk about those right after I mention Purina. Attention horse owners, are you looking to help your horse recover with ease after a strenuous workout? Would you like to nourish your horse and their digestive system? If so, try the new Purina Replenimash product. It's much more than a mash. Replenimash promotes hydration, replenishes electrolytes, and supports gastric comfort. Put Purina's research to the test. Stop into your local Purina retailer and grab a bag of Purina Replenimash product today. All right, it's that time. Let's do it.
It's time for the weekly look at your Equestrian First World Problems. This ought to be good.
So what I do for these is I take screenshots of the Facebook posts, and so I go through my pictures, and I was looking through my pictures as just going through all of them, and I saw one of my non-equestrian first world problems yesterday. Is I went to Costco and spent a lot of money, and I was like, I'm going straight home so I can get frozen items like popsicles. And it's like 1 billion degrees outside, but I put everything in my trunk and I put all the frozen stuff together, and I'm driving home. And here's a photo I have of me being stopped in front of a train. I got stopped at a freaking train. And do you know?
And your trains are long out there.
Oh God. Middle of the country, they just keep on going. It's like, hey, let's see if we can make a world record large size train. So I get home and my popsicles were all juice boxes. little juice baggies. So that's my first.
I thought you were going to say you ran back there and ate them all quick. That's what I thought you were going to
I
say.
should have. But it turns out we just drank them when we got home. I refroze them so they're going to be like look like cake pops because I hung them all upside down in the freezer and like put the stick in it. Yeah, it's a mess, and then they'll never be the same.
There really is a difference in length of trains from the East Coast to the middle. There really is a difference.
It was record breaking. Like I took a picture. I was like, Chad, I swear to God, I'm on my way home, but this is my view right now. And I get home and all of my popsicles were melted. And then I had some pizzas that were frozen and they were like Frisbees.
We're eating all the pizzas now.
Floppy Frisbees. So bad. Anyway, let's move along. Sorry, that was just in my photos. These Equestrian First World Problems are submitted by our listeners. And I put up a post on Sunday, sometimes Monday morning, and ask you to share yours. I put this up fairly early yesterday afternoon, which gives people plenty of time to then post it. So there's hundreds. I mean, crazy. So I can't get to all of them, but just know I appreciate every single one of you that are dealing with all of these sad tales. Now, this is for the auditors, and I put it up in the auditors Facebook page. And so if people want to be involved in this, Glenn, how do they become an auditor?
It's very simple. Just go to horseradionetwork.com, click on the auditor banner, and for as little as $3 a month, you can play along.
Basically, you're just paying to listen to a free podcast, but it supports the networking. Glenn needs all the help he can get.
Sure.
And
And it
I've
helps
had
support
Ray
Jamie, too.
in 10 years.
yeah.
So I appreciate everything. Laura says, Laura, it's so pretty. She posted a picture of a brand new trailer. It is gorgeous. And her problem is, my new trailer is so pretty. And it finally got here after a 10-month wait. And my horse is lame and I have nowhere to go.
Ours is pretty. I don't want to put sawdust in it for the first time.
I mean, it's so pretty. You don't want to get it dirty.
I know. I don't want to get ours dirty either. I'm with you.
There.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Jillian says, my younger horse is turning out to be a fantastic trail horse. But now I have to choose which horse to take trail riding every weekend. Carrie says, the green-headed flies are terrible. And my fancy horse is so offended.
We had those when we lived in Massachusetts. They come out for 3 weeks in July, and they are awful. They will bite your face off.
I'm sorry. Like February sucked. It seems like February, no matter where you are, it sucks. And July sucks, no matter where you are. There's ticks, there's spiders, there's bugs, there's flies, there's, like I've always said, I hate winter. I'm actually starting to appreciate it because it is a break in the bug. Because the dang bug. So on a side note about flies, those little they're little bag traps and you cut the top of them and you put water in them and hang them up. I have determined the best way to use those. Would you like me to tell you, or should I save that?
Yeah, they get really gross and smelly after a while, those bag traps.
Well, they're so gross. So here's what happens. I've now taken them, I've hung them up high. I've hung them outside the barn because people are like, you don't want to put them in the barn because they attract flies. So you want to put it outside the barn that attracts flies. If you put them outside the barn, you catch 10. If you take them and I put a piece of baling twine through it and I hang them 6 inches from the ground.
That's it. Jennifer did that in the stalls when the horses weren't in. That's right.
And I feel like at this point, I should have eradicated flies in Norman, Oklahoma, because I have caught 10 billion. And then I take them when they start to stink. I take them out of the barn and I hang them up on my arena because I don't want to put them in the dumpster too soon because then the dumpster stinks. So I have to wait till right before they come on Wednesdays to put them in the dumpster. But I keep forgetting. So there's a line of 15 full fly traps hanging on my arena fence, and it smells like something dead. It's so gross. Anyway, there you go. That's my tip. Chantel says, ghosted by a farrier, story of my life.
Oh, that sucks.
Well, Chantel, I'm going to tell you how to fix that because April's Equestrian First World Problem is my husband accidentally tipped our farrier $100. Good news is we are now our farrier's favorite customer.
I bet they are.
Bad news is he thinks my husband's a better tipper. And what the heck am I supposed to do for Christmas?
Cheap
Chantel,
bastard.
when you make an appointment, just say we do tip. Now, do you think he accidentally tipped the farrier because like she paid for the shoes and then turns out
I think he has no
like,
idea. I know April and her husband, and I think he was in charge of it that day because she was gone and he had no idea. Now, I would be the one that wouldn't realize you're supposed to tip and would give him nothing. So I'd be at the other end.
Do you tip your farrier?
I don't think Jennifer does.
They come too often for me to tip, but I give her a
She
cash
charges
prize,
enough.
a
I'm not
cash
sure
bonus
that
at Christmas.
you need a
or-
tip. That's a horse husband speaking.
You know what, though? They charge a lot, but dear God, I ain't going to do it.
No, that's
So
true.
it's
That is
worth
true.
Every penny.
That's true.
Jennifer says Willow and that's her 4-month-old baby. Oh, wait, here she says it. Willow and I went for a walk today in her full-size dually halter to celebrate her 4-month-old birthday. But it's too small already. Oh, but wait, I bought them in every size when I was at Monty's. Yeah, she started with the purple, which is like the mini. And then there's the green one, which is for weanlings up to about a year. I find it works 6 months to a year. And then there's the red, and then there's the black. And hopefully she won't ever have to wear the
Scooter
blue.
wears the
That's
green.
correct. Yes, that's like the year, six
Pony
months to a year on a normal horse. Heather said, I had a photo shoot with my horses today. Yay. And my one horse double barrel kicked his brother and it was so embarrassing. We had to stop. Please tell me you got that picture. I want that picture. Anna says, I have a super cool opportunity to be in Young Riders magazine. But now to prepare for it, I have to go spend like a bunch of money at Dover. Dude, totally worth it. Chelsea says, I can't decide between my mini horse. It's such a weird thought. I can't decide if between my mini horse and my half lease horse that I have, do I have one whole horse or like 0.75 of a horse? Why are you thinking about that? I guess you have one. Well, yeah, it's a mini. So that's like, yeah, you have 0.75 horses. You have a half lease and then it'd be one whole horse. You see, this is where you can't do this to me on the air because then I go down that hole. Okay. Juniper says another boarder and I have an arrangement where she turns out her horses at night and I bring them in for breakfast in the morning. And I'm saving so much time and money on gas, but now I don't get to see my horse twice a day. Horse chick. Carrie says I coached a bunch and watched 45 stadium rides. 45 stadium rides before I went in to jump for my turn. And I went off course.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. You literally watched 45 people do the exact course, and you went off course. That's so something I would do. And you probably walked the course with your students.
Yeah.
Oh, God. She said, I'm such an idiot. Amy said, I recently had to use a phrase, well... This would be the last time I would talk to. I recently had to use a phrase, quote, well, horseback riding is a sport while talking to a guy on a dating app. Swipe left.
Yes. Don't even bother.
Yeah, you have to say that because I don't want to know what the conversation was leading up to the fact that you had to actually say that because it was like, oh, what sports do you play? I think this is where my brain went, was like, what sports do you play? Well, I ride horses. Well, horseback riding is a sport. I wouldn't even take the time to respond to that. Swipe left. Or right, or whatever it is where you get rid of them. I've been married since Tinder came
I
out.
don't either. Have any experience with that either.
Katie, no, I'm MySpace dated. Okay. Katie says, I'm horse shopping and went to look at one and I wanted to share the experience and get some input from the wonderful auditors. And then after setting up a new computer, I couldn't remember my Facebook password. And then I got locked out of Facebook. So I had to make a whole new account just so I can get back into the auditor group. And it's Katie, Catie, but her last name starts with a Z. So look for her. She
wrote me this note. You got to let me in. This is who I am. And she explained it all.
Oh, bless her heart. And she just wanted to talk to her friend. Colleen said, I wanted to make a TikTok where my horse was pawing, but none of my horses paw. So I had to pick up his foot and do it myself. Like she did. Okay. Then somebody said you have to post a video, and literally it's a video of her. I didn't hear the audio because I was on the air, but it's like a video of her like leaning against a wall, and then it's a horse's foot banging. But if you look, you can see halfway up the foot, her hand is pushing his foot into the wall. Tanya says at 47, I decided I learned to jump despite being terrified of jumping. And after a few lessons, I've discovered that jumping is amazing. And now I have to figure out how to have the time and the money to go to both dressage shows and hunter shows and somehow not make my husband leave me.
Oh, just do eventing, and then you can combine them both. You only go to one show. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. See, it's only 3 days.
You're
so
just going to have to learn that whole cross-country thing. That's a whole nother level of jumping. But,
when I was competing in California, I just had Chad bring his golf clubs, and he would just go play golf while I would do the thing, and it was way easier. Allison says, I finally sat on my pony for the first time, and now I want to ride him, but he's got a super short back, and now I need a saddle fitter and a new saddle for your new horse. Of course, it always works like that.
All right, time for one more.
Oh, but there's so many other good ones. Okay, so I've been trying to do like a winner of Equestrian First World Problems, and it's like the last one that I read is kind of my internal winner. And this prize that you get is Glenn's going to send you $1 million. So the winner for this month, wait for that check. It's
not real money.
Any minute.
Monopoly money.
It's not even, you're not even going to get anything, but whatever. It's fun to say. Casey, congratulations. And you win because I feel this in so many ways. Last week was the county fair, and I took my kid to watch the 4-H show, hoping he would want to show his pony next year. And he totally wants to join 4-H, but he wants to join 4-H so he can put the stupid Lego robots together instead of riding.
They do that in 4-H?
I don't know, but now I can get my kid to at least join 4-H. There's some sort of Lego component to it because he's not going to show.
I thought you were going to come back and say you wanted to show chickens or rabbits or something.
I even told Lucas, I was like, we have like a really cute Silky. I was like, we can take her and show her. And he was like, that'd be great. When like you join 4-H. And I was like, and we can take Duke and you can he's like, never mind.
Never mind. You ruined it. You went too far, Mom.
Went too far. Too much.
Showing the chicken sounded okay. You put it in the cage, and then that's it.
And then there it is.
Go eat funnel cakes.
Exactly. I feel you, Casey. Congratulations.
Well, that's it for today's show. Auditors, hang on. We're going to talk a little movies and maybe a little bit about breeding in the post show. We'll be back. We have a full boat of shows for you this week.
Can I give? Yeah. I have my own equestrian first world problem. Okay. And I'm just going to, I know I told you I didn't want to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it anyway, because it's so annoying that she does so many cute things. So my baby filly got a tiny cut on her leg, but in baby filly world, a tiny cut means you have to bandage it because of the weather and the flies. And it's so baby filly has a bandage on that I'm supposed to change like every 4 days. And of course I can't change a baby horse's bandage by myself. Well, because she's wild as a deer. So I have to take her to the vet clinic and they change the bandage with one more bandage change. And then I can take the bandage off and she can go out. And here's the problem, Glenn, is that she does so many cute things. And I want to post all these videos of her. But if I post a video of my baby horse in a bandage, people are going to think, number one, I'm either cruel or something is wrong with her. And she only has a little tiny cut, but I have to protect it from all of the elements and the bugs and all the things because July sucks. But I can't post.
No, you can't. You can't. You'll be accused of abuse and people will be showing up at your house.
Exactly. You know my history with people posting really terrible things on my page. So I've been having just to post pictures of her little nose. But it's just know that it's coming. One more bandage change. It's just tiny little cut. And I'm overkilling. I'm over loving her to get it to heal, but just know it's killing me.
Like the author who posted her horse getting up had fly wraps on her legs. And apparently the comments on her page were about how abusive it is to have weights on horses' legs like that. Yes.
I blindfold and weight all my horses. And my poor Andalusian has some sort of horrible muzzle thing where I'm
they must hate
him.
muzzles. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
And they do look like torture devices, let's be honest.
It does. But yeah, I can't post baby videos, but just know that's why, because everybody's been messaging me, I haven't seen a baby video in forever. Yeah, I know. I can't post it because I'll get really bad.
Yeah, that was a smart move.
Yes, thank you.
Tomorrow,
that's my problem.
Tomorrow we have the endurance episode. Karen's back. We have Mary Kitzmiller later in the week. And of course, Jamie and I are here. Get your ads into Jennifer at Horse Radio Network for really bad ads on Friday. We'll see y'all.
Spay, neuter, geld, everybody. toxins don't work.